when you speak about, women being better at multitasking, and of course their intelligence, they dwarf us when it comes to emotional intelligence. There's no doubt about that. And even spiritual sensitivity. That's why the prayer warriors are always the church mothers.
Right.
They're always the prayer mothers, because the church fathers is asleep. They're on the side pew knocked out. But the mothers would be up, doing 24-hour prayer vigils. That's their thing. That's their arena, spiritual sensitivity.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that I think that's important is that when you are engaged with a woman in a polygynous situation, you have to always have something for her to do. And this is something that I've seen a lot of men slip up on. They get a little bit too lax. And women who are part of a polygynous family, a lot of times, from what I've seen, they're a person that has promise and ambition, and something where they can exercise and exploit their full talent and their full abilities. And if you don't give them opportunity, if you have a consort and she's a great multitasker, she doesn't get stressed easily or overwhelmed, then you have to give her things. If you say, okay, I'm gonna take the helm and I'm the leader, then you have to keep her occupied with things that are fulfilling for her. And I found this to be a common mistake, where in polygynous situations where there'll be either too much overlapping or the women are just bored.
Do you mean like a lot of men don't know where to place those women in the family? Like they'll just be random instead of exploiting their gifts and talents and letting them just operate in that?
Yes. One thing, they won't know how to place them, but more so, they don't even realize that the women desire to be placed. When a woman comes to you and starts asking you questions about your business, or what can I do? How can I help? And you deny her that, a lot of times you'll offend her in a very subtle way. You don't realize it until later. That's why women get into crafts and crochet and things like that. They like to always be creating, making something, bringing something from nowhere to now here. A lot of times men are not sensitive to that reality, especially if you have strong alpha male men who may have been by themselves for some times, and they're used to doing everything themselves, and don't realize that in terms of building an empire is more than just having children, because women can have children and still incorporate the children into their work. And in indigenous cultures, that's what you see anyway. The children are strapped on the back, and the women are either still gardening or farming or sewing or preparing mats or even in the marketplace. A lot of times men do not know how to place, or more importantly, realize that the women desire to be placed somewhere. They want to feel useful. They want to feel functional. They want to feel productive. And if you're a man without a plan, or if you're a man who is insensitive to that, then you'll actually begin to distort her sense of self and her self-esteem, because she wants to bring something valuable to the unit.
I agree, man. That's the sensitivity you mentioned is something that a lot of men in polygyny miss, and it's not just in that regard, it's just overall. I know that I'm still learning myself, because I'm new to even having like some serious consorts coming in who are interested in coming in where I'm actually building a family. I'm new. And I feel like a baby, man. I feel like a baby, even though I've done all this research on it. It's different. It's not different, but it's harder when you get in it. It's not half as difficult as people make it out to be, but it's challenging in that you're going from you're unmarried, then, okay, you're married, and then she's gung-ho about polygyny too, so she's like, okay, well, I know somebody who wants to come in. All of a sudden, you have all these spirits involved. Now you have to really pay attention and be diligent in how you move. And again, it's down to the dedication, the discipline, the time, and the energy that you put in. That's what you're going to get out of it, and that's if everybody is on point. But men have to become more sensitive to the proclivities of women. And I can even mark early on in my relationship, even up to the present, where even as we're talking, I'm thinking about situations with my consort and I'm like, I could have handled that differently and had a better outcome if I was just more sensitive. You see?
Right.
So this is why iron sharpens iron. Men need to discuss these things among ourselves so that we can, create better homes.